going to tell you guys what I want. Might take a while. But before this live stream is over, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you want the same thing that I do. I was at my desk today at 2 in the morning. Sometimes that happens. Yeah, you wake up in the middle of the night because something is occupying your mind. It's literally a wake-up call. And I want to give you guys a wake-up call right now. I want Tangled Social to be the biggest social media platform on the planet. I want the Tangled browser to be the largest pool of cloud computing on the planet. I want the Tangled ad platform to be the largest ad platform on the planet. I'll get to why in a minute. Last night I watched a documentary about Sylvester Stallone. I mentioned this on G/Movie of the Day. Now I already know the story. I know the story of Sylvester Stallone. But for some reason, I decided to watch the Netflix documentary. And Sylvester Stallone had a tough childhood. He was dealt a bad hand. He had an abusive father, he had an absent mother. When he was born, his nerves were damaged on one side of his face, causing him to have a disfigurement and slurred speech. He didn't look like a movie star. He couldn't get a job.
This hour of Fiat Leak Radio is sponsored by BitcoinWallet.com.
But he could write.
The computer and the music box are related by the type of...
And he wrote a
code they both
screenplay
use. In some music boxes, this
featuring
code is
a
contained in circular
boxer,
disc
a fighter,
in which a series of holes have been spaced.
named Rocky Balboa.
As the disc revolves, tiny prongs on the underside of each hole...
But the story wasn't about a fighter.
...creating a musical sound.
The story was about
One of
himself.
holes and no holes represents the 2-symbol code of most music machine.
He wrote the script, and Hollywood wanted to make it into a movie. Under one condition: that Sylvester Stallone would never be in front of the camera. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script for himself because he thought that was the only way he could get an acting job. It's the only way. And Sylvester Stallone was broke. He had $100 and his rent was $300.
Caused him more fear, hope, or confusion than the computer. It has been regarded as everything from a contraption.
He sold his dog.
To a gift of the
He took his dog down to I don't know what it was, a pawn shop. He got money for the dog. Even though the movie studios were offering him $300,000 for the script. all he had to do was give up on his principles and his dream. And he refused. Sylvester Stallone was overlooked. He was discarded. He was ignored. He was beaten up. That was his life. Of course, you know how the story ends. He becomes the biggest star in Hollywood. But when I was watching that, I got to thinking that everybody on Tangled, everybody, all of us,
Sure to follow Fangs on Spotify.
we've been overlooked. We've been ignored. And we've been beaten up. And all those things have happened to me, and I don't know which is worse. Getting the shit kicked out of you or being ignored. I don't know which is worse. Nobody on Tangled Social has 1 million followers on another platform. No other platform will give anybody that's currently on Tangled a chance to be heard anywhere else. If they would, it would have already happened. But you guys have a voice on Tangled. And the people who are on Tangled now have a bigger voice than the people that will follow. And they will follow. The people who are on Tangled now don't fit into the system. And they never have. I don't fit into the system, and I never have. And if you give up and you decide to try to fit into the system, you lose your purity. The system corrupts. But there's more of us than there are of them. So one of the reasons that you want the same thing that I want, this is maybe the only chance you've had. It might be the only chance you ever have. To be heard, to follow your dream, and to actually realize it without resistance. Now, I'm a fighter. And I gave you my wish list. But guys like me don't have wish lists. Guys like me have to-do lists. And those what I want, that represents a lot of value. A lot of value. Go add it up. Take the value of cloud computing. Take the value of social. Take the value of ads. Add it up. I'm not interested in investors in Tangle.com. It runs at a loss. The system won't know how to value something like Tangled. And I don't want to have conversations, and I could. I know the guys, they have the money, I could cash the check. But I know that they don't want what I want. And I'm certain they don't want what you want. So I would consider that the value of all those things that I want are not represented by the value of Tangled. They're represented by the value of Millix. And I don't know if I get in trouble for saying that. I don't know if I'll get in trouble from the SEC for saying that. But you know what? At the moment, we're overlooked, we're ignored, and we're not making any noise. Why would they say anything? Five years from now, a regulator like the SEC might come back and go through this archives of videos. They might watch this video. And when they do, I want them to consider this. You don't know what it's like to sit across the table from the smartest guy in the room. And not just that room. The smartest guy in every room he's ever been in. And it's not just one guy. It's 100 million of us. I'm a fighter. How much fight do they have in them? So I am going to be spending my time working on my to-do list. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what not to do, because this happens. Don't ask me how I can make a bigger contribution to you personally. That's the wrong question. Ask how you can make the biggest contribution to everyone else. This is the platform to do it on. Now, a guy like me doesn't end up where I am without a few chips on my shoulder. I keep a list. People that know me know me. And in the course of accomplishing all these things that I've described, one thing's for sure. I want to make sure that people that sell Millix before it's achieved its potential feel pain, regret. I want them to watch the rocket from Earth. I want to wipe out the weak hands. So that's what I have to say about that. Yesterday, I started to work on a model, a financial model. What it's going to take, mostly from an infrastructure standpoint, to win. And the two main things are obvious. A strong price and liquidity in the market. We work on a lot of features. We're going to be focusing on features that accomplish those two things. One of the features that's going to launch soon, probably within the next 2 weeks, are ads taken from the Tangled Ad Network, which are currently only visible for people running the browser, and bringing them into Tangled.com. You'll be able to decide how many ads you see. But shortly after we launch, you'll start to get paid for the ads that you see. Here's what that's going to do. At the moment, there are about 30,000 ad presentations a day on the Tangled Ad Network. They're all within the browser. You have to be running the browser to see the ads. But of those 30,000 presentations, maybe 10% of them actually get seen. Because you just keep the browser open, you leave your desk, you're living your life, the ads keep coming.
This hour of Fiat Leak Radio is sponsored by Bitcoin.
When we put the ads on Tangled.com, it'll go to 200,000 presentations that day, day one. And all of those will be seen by the audience. So from one day to the next, there'll be a 100x increase in viewed ads. And that's not a small number. It's not a small number of ads being seen. And so the first thing that we're going to do once ads are visible on Tangled.com is internally, we're going to set up ads that demonstrate to everyone else that you can earn from those ads. And I'm not talking about the audience, I'm talking about the advertiser. We'll do some affiliate links. We'll drive traffic to other sites from the ads. We'll demonstrate the value. And when we do that, and we'll be very transparent about it, And it might not be as profitable on day one as it is on day 30. We'll have to adjust and tune and develop the strategy. But it'll be a roadmap for everyone on Tangle.com to do the same thing. We'll tell you how to do it. We'll show you what we do. We'll tell you what it's worth. We'll show you how to do it yourself.
You are listening to things on Fiat Leak Radio.
We'll probably work with somebody like GeoMC57 to do a test case. The other thing that we're going to do, so immediately after that launches, we'll have some follow-up work to do, but we'll start to shift our focus from that to something very simple. We're going to put a buy and sell button on Tangle.com. Simple. Sell your Millix for Tether. Use your Tether to buy Millix. At first, it'll just be a market price. It won't be an order book. It'll just be a market. And we'll get the price from P2B, Fiat Leak, Millix.com. It'll be a blended price. But if you think about it, there's probably 20 people trading on P2B. It's a small number. There's 70,000 people that either aren't interested or can't manage to figure out how to do that. And we're going to open the doors to all of them. It'll be easier to cash out. It'll be easier to top up. And we'll give a lot more reasons to top up than we give to cash out. We're not going to stop anybody, but like I said, I think the sellers will regret selling. Now, eventually that buy-sell button will evolve from a marketplace to an order book. And eventually, it'll migrate from an order book to a trade engine. We're going to do things that haven't ever been done before. And when I say we, I'm talking about you. Now, aside from all that, there is one new feature on the site today, and I'll wrap up after this. There is now a public chat on every single group. It's rough. There's no moderation yet. There aren't the features that we need to have, like bulk tip, easy subscribe, all the things that a business owner wants to have as a tool to grow their audience, grow their reach, and share their message. But the conversation has started. So if you own a group, go to your group page, check it out, start the conversation, make an activity, and draw people into the conversation. Increase the value of your group. And we're going to keep giving you tools to increase the value of your group. All right, so I'll end it there. Thanks for everybody that watched. I'm going to go back to work. And I suggest that you guys consider that you are early days to make your mark. I'll talk to you later.